Mr. Jim Donaldson, who's a great friend of mine.
And school board.
And school board, straight down the line. And teacher. Mr. Mike Brown, he built my house. That's how I met him. My father, Ken Kramer, also on the board. And the owner of the main campus building, Joyce Rubel.
Board member.
And board member, these are all board. I'm really thrilled to have them here because I know school board sounds like this abstract thing out there, but there really are people on it, more than we have here. Thank you all for coming. In order to talk to you about what is happening right now at the school, I need to briefly review what has happened in the past. By the way, I'm Cynthia Day, founder of the school, in case there's some people that don't know. In 2010, my last child was finished with homeschooling and I was ready to retire. I took a medical dictation job, and within 3 months, I was miserable. Instead, I wanted to be with children, learning and exploring the wonderful world around us. Before I knew it, I was building a school in my mind. Not someone else's school, but a place that had never existed before. My school would be a place of wonder, where children would rediscover the joy of learning in a setting of love and acceptance. When I began to share my ideas with others, I heard over and over again, "Oh man, I'd sign up in a minute, but I could probably never afford it." And that's when I discovered a segment of population that is overlooked in our society. Families whose children are not thriving in public school or homeschooling, but who can't afford private education. Therefore, these children are stuck and sentenced to an education that doesn't meet their needs. That is when providing a first-class education to this segment of the population became my passion. My school would be a place in which all children could attend, regardless of economic status. Somehow, some way, we would figure out a way to make it work. And so we began. 17 brave students spent the first year of the Days of Wonder School in our basement to experience something that's never been done before. By the end of the year, we had 21 students wishing to enroll, but 42 students wanted to attend the following year. Year 3, we enrolled 65. Year 4, and we enrolled 80-something. And by year 5, we were well over 100. Soon, the school became our school, yours and mine. And we added a school board, some whose members are here today. How were we able to keep costs down so that all these children could attend? First, we renovated our current building. Families put in countless volunteer hours. We had fundraisers, some good, some not so good. And everyone pitched in with cleaning and volunteer hours. But as we grew, we became increasingly aware that we needed more money. We expanded the second floor of our current building, which needed a major overhaul. This was financed by Mike Brown and my father, Ken Kramer, for whom we are most grateful. And all along, the education piece of our school was coming along great. We even needed to expand more because our high school was growing and needed its own building. The board and I pursued every avenue possible to keep tuition low and provide the money we needed for what tuition didn't cover. And all along, I really wasn't worried. And here's why. First, I knew we fit the exact definition of a charter school. Charter schools receive federal funding. However, we were turned down flat despite our efforts. For all their talk about their willingness to embrace new approaches to education, they said we didn't fit their requirements. We could apply for grants, The application for grants, many for whom we easily qualified, took countless hours. I have my father to thank for this grueling work and others. He not only went through this process over and over again, but he even took courses on grant writing. But hoping to better our chances, we received no luck. We hired at one time a professional fundraiser who worked for us for 2 years. He boasted of raising millions for other organizations. I went with him to meet executives, business owners, and on, but in the end, he raised no money for our school. We were promised a foundation for our school. This foundation was going to enable us to use the interest on that money and still have a cushion from which we could withdraw if needed. However, that plan never happened. I went to countless dinners, meet and greet, Kiwanis clubs, you name it. We were connected with a marketing expert a couple years ago, and we did receive a story on Channel 9, but the publicity ended there. I have been interviewed by newspapers, alternative education programs. I have done 2 radio shows, and so forth. I have never turned down any opportunity to meet the person who would be willing to see us as we are. A cutting-edge school with so much potential, it could change the world. And I wasn't alone in these efforts. The school board, Amy Hardy's relentless letter writing campaigns, great parents with all kinds of wonderful ideas. We all tried to better our financial situation, to keep our tuition affordable. Although we did have some success, nothing was permanent. I have also worked for free for 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours. That's not exactly a good deal. I have worked free for 3.5 years since the school opened, and I am currently not being paid. Other employees have taken pay cuts when they were making the bare minimum to start. Dear families, I want you to know that every time we faced a decision about whether to raise tuition, I always had your best interest in mind. We did raise tuition minimally while still hanging on to the hope that another source of income would come forward, but they have not. Now we are faced with a grave reality. We have exhausted all other sources of income. This past month, we used the credit card to pay our staff. Obviously, this is not sustainable. It isn't a matter of whether we have to raise tuition, we must. I wanted to speak first, so you knew firsthand how much energy and time has gone into trying to raise revenue for the school. People have made tremendous sacrifices in order to keep us open, but at this point, we are in a dire situation. I stand before you knowing in my heart that we've tried every avenue and will continue to do so, but for now, we have only one option to stay open. We must raise tuition to cover our expenses until we can find someone, our knight in shining armor, willing to invest in our special school.
Thank you, Cynthia.